Paul Pogba and Kylian Mbappe led smiling France stars in an open training session in Guingamp on Wednesday. They have reason to smile, with Didier Deschamps' side unbeaten since a shock 3-2 reverse to Colombia in March, with their defeat to Los Cafeteros their only loss since June 2017, and of course their World Cup triumph during the summer. Questions had been asked of Deschamps in the lead-up to Russia, and whether he allowed his side to express themselves enough to be considered winners. However, as pre-tournament favourites Germany, Spain and Brazil fell by the wayside, they stood strong, and last month Deschamps was rewarded with FIFA's the Best Coach of the Year prize. Not that that means there is any let-up from the man who has now captained and coached his country to their greatest footballing triumphs. Nor does it mean any of his stars can rest on their laurels, even if they have just the meeting with Iceland and a November friendly against Uruguay to play before the year ends. On Tuesday, Manchester City defender Benjamin Mendy, left out of the current squad having only returned from injury at the weekend, was handed a stiff rebuke from his national boss. Deschamps is a big fan of Mendy and took him to the World Cup despite major concerns over his fitness, but says the 24-year-old must take his personal condition more seriously. He needs to be aware that he has to take care of his body, on and off the pitch, said the France coach. He has above-average physical qualities, but the high-level requirements make him have to be careful. It's coming, it has to get into his brain. That was perhaps a reminder to stars that there will be no slacking off and that the summer success is now very much in the rear view, especially when, for some, the current campaign has not gone as planned. Olivier Giroud, for example, without a goal in 8 games for Chelsea. Or Raphael Varane, one of 6 World Cup winners up for the Ballon d'Or, but who is part of a Real Madrid side now 4 games without a win. Captain Hugo Lloris has been criticized for a number of errors while playing for Spurs. Even Antoine Griezmann, who has scored in just 3 of Atletico Madrid's 11 games thus far. Then of course there is Pogba, whose future is up in the air and whose performances for a disappointing Manchester United have been very inconsistent. One player whose form post-World Cup is beyond reproach is Mbappe, continuing to electrify with Paris Saint-Germain. The 19-year-old scored twice on his last appearance in Guingamp and bagged 4 goals in 13 minutes against Lyon at the weekend. His record this season is a quite frightening 10 goals in 7 games at club level, while he scored in the win over the Netherlands. Unquestionably, he is both the present and the future. At the other end of the age scale, and back in the international fold, is Dimitri Payet, the Marseille playmaker formerly of West Ham. Payet, now 31, missed the World Cup triumph after tearing a hamstring in Om's Europa League final loss to Atletico Madrid in May. Now, after being called in to replace injured Lyon captain Naby Fekir, he is keen to make up for lost time, as is another returning star, Mamadou Sakho. The Crystal Palace centre-back hasn't played for his country since before Euro 2016 and is delighted to be back in the fold. I'm proud. It's always nice to meet the teammates, to find the blue jersey. This jersey is the grail. After that, I'm someone who, when he focuses on something, wants the maximum, of course. In football, the highest peak for a French player is to wear this blue jersey. To defend the colors of his nation is extraordinary. It's always fun and we are always motivated to do this. Back in Deschamps' melting pot is undoubtedly where he wants to be, and Deschamps has often shown great loyalty to his players in the past. But he doesn't suffer fools, and like all others vying for a spot in international football's most hotly contested 23-man squad, Sakho knows there's no time to waste.